Hello, in this video I want to talk about UI kits. So UI stands for user interface, and a user interface pack or a user interface kit is basically just a bundle of user interface, so things like buttons, sliders, text boxes, elements. So if we just look through here, this one right here is the Impressionist user interface pack by Design Modo, and it is definitely one of the better user interface packs out there. Now, this is actually a premium user interface pack, so it does cost, although it's very reasonably priced. And one of the bonuses of it being one of these premium packs is that it comes in a layered PSD. Now this means that you can just get any element you like, so you can just say, hey, I like this little button thing here, I want this, and you can just copy it into another document, or copy it into another program, or copy it wherever the hell you like, and then that can be part of your design. So let's just say you're a front-end developer and you're in the design process. Now you've just jotted something down on a piece of paper and you've opened up Balsamiq or something and you've shown a little bit of outline on where you want things to go, and now you want to start making it look a bit more like a real website, which is usually the second or third stage in people's design process, if people don't just design straight in the browser, which I know some people do. Now, most of the components you're going to need to then create from scratch, and that's going to take a lot of time to do, especially if you want the components to look good for your client or whoever's then reviewing this more visual design that you're creating. Now, something like a UI kit that then contains a bunch of standard, very nice looking elements for different purposes then has these elements, so if you want to go, hey, you know what, I want a download button, you can just say, you know what, there's a download button right here, and there's some more ones here, so you just go, I really want this download button here or something of this style in my design. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to my UI kit, I'm going to find a standard download button, I'm going to tweak that to my needs. So then you save a lot of time and you still get a very good result. Essentially you're doing more in less time. So that is why UI kits are useful. And really, I suppose I should just show you some of the different elements here in this Impressionist pack. So if I just do a slow scroll down here just to let you see, there are a lot of nice elements here, and there's going to be a link in this video's description to this pack, because I do recommend you get it if you're a designer and you're either going to design web apps or desktop apps or anything where this could be even remotely useful, because just having sort of a framework to fall back on with standardized elements is so useful in the design process. So we can see we have a nice graph here. Some of these elements, like this one here, for example, are a little bit complex. So if you were doing a web design, something like this might not easily be put into HTML and CSS, at least without like maybe a bit of jQuery or something to get that working. But it's still very good for design and thinking, hey, you know what? When I was designing this, I had a checkbox in mind, but now I think about it, a really innovative control like this would be much more suited to the purpose. So I guess also this can act for a little bit of inspiration too, like, oh, that looks really nice, maybe I'll design my thing like this, or I wonder how they did that. Because everything in this pack is designed using shapes and layer styles, which has a bunch of advantages, including that you can then have a look at it and say, oh, that's how they did it. They drew a circle and they did this effect on that and this effect on it, and it created this, which then eventually created this really nice effect for something like this. So we have just buttons and things all over the place. We have a calendar here, which looks really nice. And then we can just go onto the second page. There are a bunch of elements in this pack. I think they claim over 300 web elements, and as I said, I think it's for a very competitive price. So I would go ahead and take a look. We can see this graph here looks very nice, especially if you just want to shove something in for design. You go, yeah, I want some fancy graph here. Instead of having to just create some sort of random pattern on the graph, you could do something like this where you already have a nice looking pattern on the graph, paste it in there. Yeah, right here we're going to have a graph of the user usage for the administration control panel or whatever. These buttons here I also really like, and something like this you could just shove straight into a live web design without even wanting to use it for a design process if you really wanted to. You'll notice these icons here as well. We'll talk about those a bit more in a minute, but if you're just going to then shove these in the background image CSS property and then perhaps on the active state, on the click state, sorry if you don't understand any of this, by the way, I'm talking HTML and CSS, then you could then change it to this image. That will work fine for a proper button on a proper web page, rather than just being in the design process, because a lot of these will just work if you want to just put them in web pages, because after all, these are essentially just images when you export them and flatten them down. Upload form looks very nice right there. We have a lot of this media-based stuff too, where it's all about video and large images and all this kind of thing, which seems to be emerging from the web these days, and it's all about how many views something got, and is it interconnected and popular, and look at this big image, and HD, and that kind of concept here. So we have a lot of big images, a very nice kind of video player user interface there. So if you just say, you know what, in this design I want there to be a video player here, perhaps you just go, you know what, this actually perfectly suits my needs. Actually a blue bar would fit better than a green bar, so maybe you want to change the color, and hey, you know what, that font there for this this little tooltip, I actually want that to be something different to suit the design. Yeah, you can do that. I'm not saying that you should use standard components for every part of your design. This is just going to make it a lot quicker. You can then modify this however you see fit. Very nice music controls here. We have sort of a friends list type functionality, and let's just have a look. We have page 3. We have very nice images of an iMac and an iPad, and we have a cool phone button, and we have a map, and we have some standard pagination. So if you just say, you know what, I want this to span over multiple pages, then you can just say, you know what, I have a standard pagination thing for this, or I'm just going to go ahead and copy paste this as a smart object, and then I'm just going to change the font to suit the design, I'm going to change the color to suit the design, or whatever. So we have all these things here. Standard iOS icon looks very nice. You can change it as you want, obviously. Some very nice sort of tiled interface there. I like that look too. Page 4, we have some profile stuff. We have all these share buttons are going to be extremely useful. You just want to say, you know what, I want a good like button here. I don't want to use the standard Facebook like button because that looks a bit suckish. You know what, I want to use this awesome circle one here. Or I just want a login with Facebook button here. Hey, there's a really good standard one of those in my UI kit that I can just fall back on. Same thing here, we have a pricing table. I can imagine that's going to be very useful. Available in the App Store, we just have a little price label, just these little things that you can use all over the place. A nice table. We have, is that just an image? I don't know. We have these kind of shapes. We have all these different things. An iPhone, yes, that can go with our little iOS kit that we found earlier with the iMac and the iPad. Maybe we just want to put that in next to that to illustrate something like responsive web design. And then page 5, again, very similar things. We have all these nice things. You can see in detail if you buy the pack, or I think they have a preview on the website. I like this thing in particular. That's very nice. Login form right there. Calendar date. Music controls. More pagination. Find out more. Things, tags, watch now. It's kind of like a blog article entry. That's right. That makes sense. And then also, as I talked about earlier, all the icons that are used in this then come in a vector icon pack that also comes with this Impressionist pack. So you can just scroll through them all here, and they are all available in a vector format, so you can just resize them to whatever you want without worrying about something like distortion. I particularly like these upload and download ones. We have all kinds of different things here. Very nice. And just to show you, in literally 3 seconds before I started this video, I compiled this little thing. You can tell I just copied that little component there as a smart object. I changed some text over here. I can't really remember which pieces I changed. I inserted an icon here and gave it some glow. I inserted a comparison table and changed up the text. And you can see, very seamless, very easy. In my opinion, very worth it for design work. So, if you want to go check that out, the link is in this video's description. I didn't make it an affiliate link because this is to help you and not to help me, and this is one of those videos in my series of products that I like. So thanks for the guys at Design Modo for giving me this kit. It's a great kit. Go check it out. That's the end of this video, and have a nice day.